Okay, so once you open the wrap, you're going to see this very simple program, a simple interface. And the way you navigate here is if you want to rotate, you could hold the Alt key, hold the left button on your mouse and drag your mouse. If you want to zoom in, zoom out, you could hold the Alt key and the right click button and just drag your mouse. If you want to pan to the left, pan to the right, you could hold the Alt key and hold the middle mouse button to do that. Okay. Now, the first things that we gotta do is we're gonna have to put our geometry here. The sculpt geometry that we have exported out of ZBrush and the wrap head, the base mesh that we're gonna be using to have it wrap on the high-res sculpt. So this area is where we're gonna put all that geometry. Okay. So press tab to create a node. Tab on your keyboard, go to geometry, click on load geometry, and you could click and drag this node here. Yeah, okay, you could click and drag this. You could zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, and this here and this panel. Now we could name this here by double clicking on the text, and we could call this one base mesh. Okay. And this is where we're going to place our base mesh. Click here and you're going to see right below file name, and then you're going to see the button here which will allow you to load that base mesh. Click on that and go ahead and find your base mesh that you're going to be using. Okay, right here, and OBJ. Okay, so it's the wrap head OBJ. There you go. And it looks like I cannot find it anywhere here. Okay, if you can't find it there, you could probably zoom out. Oh, there it is. It's all the way up there. Now there is no need to worry about the position right now. Okay, we're gonna fix all that later on. Okay, but we do need to make sure that they still are going to be aligned with each other, the base mesh and the high-res sculpt, when we put in the high-res sculpt. Let's go ahead and create another geometry node so we could load our high-res sculpt here. Hit tab on your keyboard, geometry, load geometry. And let's go ahead and call this one sculpt high-res. High-res. Okay. And then, yeah, just make sure that you have this turned on. You see how it turns into light blue. Make sure that it's actually light blue, okay? Because if not, let's say you have this base mesh, right? And if you turn that off, you see how you could hide it. You could turn it on again, okay? So just make sure it's turned on so you could see both. And then you're gonna go ahead and plug in. You're gonna have to put in your high-res sculpt in this node. So going to file names, click on this button here, find your decimated mesh that we have made in ZBrush. So SAML decimated, double click, and there you go. And you can see the wireframes for those, because if you look here, the wireframe option is turned on for both the high-res sculpt and the base mesh. Okay? So if I click on the high-res sculpt and I turn off wireframe, I don't see the wires for it anymore. If I go to the base mesh, turn off the wireframe, I don't see the wireframe anymore. Now for the high-res sculpt, we don't need to have the wireframe turned on. We could just hide that. We do need to, it'll be helpful for us to have the wireframe turned on for the base mesh so we could see exactly where we want the topology to go wrap around on our character. Okay. Okay, now the next thing that we need to do is we need to create another node, okay, that will allow us to create points on the character, okay, and these points are the points are gonna tell the program here where we want those points, the corresponding points, to match up onto the character's face. Okay, and yeah, if you watch me, if you follow me here, you will know exactly what I'm talking about as you follow me step by step. Okay, all right, let's go to create the tab, go tab, selection, click on select points. And then we could go ahead and hit tab, go to, we're also going to make another node, and this time we're going to go to alignment and click on wrapping. Okay, this node, this wrapping is basically the node that will allow us to wrap the base mesh onto the high-res sculpt. Okay, and all these are all going to be connected together at the end. All right, okay, so let's go ahead and make some connections now, shall we? Okay, so if you guys hover your mouse, okay, if you're on the select points, you hover your mouse over to the left here, it will say left geometry. And then this one, it says right geometry. Okay, now the left geometry here, okay, we're gonna have to plug that in. Okay, plug in our base mesh, the one on the left, onto the left geometry. Okay, and you do that, you connect these by clicking once, let go of the mouse button. Okay, and then just move your mouse and then click on the next connector. Okay, and then same thing, click on the connector here, make sure that you are not holding the mouse button, let go, and then move your mouse and then click on the next connector here. All right, and then for this here, we're going to connect this output of the select points. We're going to connect it to the points here. Okay, so we have the floating geometry, we have the fixed geometry. Okay, we're gonna have to connect these also. All right, let's go ahead and connect the output first onto the point. And then for the base mesh here, this base mesh is going to have to connect to the floating geometry. Okay, and then the high-res sculpt here is going to have to connect to the fixed geometry. Okay, so it's named that way because the floating is basically the base mesh, the one that's going to, the geometry that's going to be laid on top of the high-res sculpt. Okay, so it's hence the name floating. So base mesh, click onto the floating geometry, high-res sculpt, click, and onto the fixed geometry. There you go. All right, now what we need to do is we need to click on the node for the select point. Okay, we're gonna go to the visual editor, and as you could see here, we have both of our meshes. We could see them. Okay, now what we want to do is when we navigate here, we want to make sure that they are in sync with each other when we navigate. So click on sync views right here, and now when you navigate, you could see both of them navigating at the same time. All right, exactly what we need. Okay, so make sure you're on select point, because if you're on base mesh, you see how you don't see anything. If you're on sculpt, nothing. Wrapping, you see both the base mesh and you see the high res. Okay, all right, right now we just need to click on select point node. So we're looking at two views of our character here, and we're gonna have to start making our points. Okay, let's go ahead and do the eyes. Okay, so first let's click on the inner corner of the eyes here, so that's 0. And then this is also going to be 0. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to click on areas for our character's face here where we want the corresponding geometry to be laid out on. Okay, so I know that this topology around here, I want it to be laid out around this area. Okay, and so that's where I exactly put those points for each of the mesh, for the base mesh and also for my high-res sculpt. And then click there and click here. So just make sure that you are accurate. Okay, you want to make sure that the corresponding number that you have set for a part of the mesh for the high-res sculpt, it's also the same for the base mesh. And then we want the points also, let's see, Okay, maybe this here is going to be here, and then just visualizing how the geometry will look on our high-res sculpt, just visualizing it and figuring out where they should go. Okay, now if you want to delete a point, you could hold control on your keyboard and then click on the dot. Okay, let me just control Z. If you want to move a point, you could hold the dot here and then just drag. Okay, so we got the first eye there, and then I'm going to do the other eye. And we got this and this, and then we got this and this. Yeah, so just try to be as accurate as possible. The features on the face, such as the eyes, the nose, and the lips, those are the parts of the face where you need to add the most points on, okay? Because you want it to be as highly accurate as you possibly can. The geometry to be exactly on there where it's supposed to go. And you see that there's that star here. So you want those on the areas of the face where it's not gonna deform a lot, like on the bones, you know. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click here, and I'm gonna click right there, and then same for this, click here, and I'm gonna click right here. Okay, that's about it. Probably move it down a bit. There you go. And we could do the same. Could maybe here, could be there somewhere, and then here could be here. We could do something for the nose bridge here somewhere. So here, and then maybe that could go right here and there. This could, I suggest you take your time on this. This is not bad at all, you know. This is better than manually retopologizing it. Okay, this is very simple. Although it does take time too, you know. And now underneath the nose, we could also do that. So we got, so it's all about just putting the points and the important parts of the features of the face where we want those exact topology to flow, okay? Usually at the corners of the features of the face. And then we could, on the corner here also, we can do something about this. So here and here. And here and here. All right. Could do some more corners for this and this. And we could do something at the bottom of the nose. Okay. And we need to also do the lips. Do the lips, shall we? Okay, so for the lips, we got the corner of the lips that we need to take care of. So we really need this loop that allow us to animate, open, close the mouth. So that should be somewhere around here. Just visualizing where the loop should go. All right, so here and maybe here. And for this one, we got this and this. Okay, you know what? I think we could drag. And then this one, drag a little bit. That's cool. Then we could also do the corner, I mean the front, the bottom here. And we could do the side here. And then we could do the corners at the top of the lips. And the bottom here. And we could see here. So thinking about where the corners are at for the facial features and adding those points. And if it doesn't, when you wrap this thing, the base mesh onto the high-res later, and you see that, you know, it needs some more work, you could always delete some points or add more points. You know, it's all about trial and error. So, okay. And we could also add some. And the thing is, the more geometry you have, the more the points you have to add. And if you're working on a very low res character, then you won't have to add as much points. Okay. And then we could, let's see, it could do the bottom here. So this could be here, this could be there, and then we could also the side of the jaw. And also we gotta do the ears. Can't forget the ears here. So for the ears, and then we got this bottom. All right, same thing with this here. So we could do the top part of the ears. And we could have this shape. This is a really important part of the character. This helix, anti-helix. So we could have that. And same on the other side. Oops. Here and here. And then we could do a little bit at the back too. Okay. And then it'll be nice to have this, the back. where it's supposed to go, the topology. All right. Cool. And then for the neck, we could have the base of the Adam's apple. Could work to go here around this area. And then maybe the part here on the side of the neck for the sternocleidomastoid area. All right. And let's see if there's any more that we could add or delete. I think we could probably add a few points on here. Yeah. So maybe for this one, see. So we are just kind of trying to make as perfect as possible, you know, kind of eyeballing things too. Okay, so I think we got all the points that we need here. I think so. Got the nose area, loops. Okay, so now that we got the points, the next thing that we need to do is click on our wrapping node here, okay? And we are going to now click on the compute button. And you could just leave the parameters as default, okay? And click on compute. And just wait for a bit, and it's just doing its thing. It should be fairly fast. Unless you have a computer that's really slow, but it does its thing there. It's wrapping right onto the high-res mesh. Okay, and there it is. There is our wrap. Everything is there. There's something that's not really aligned as much as I want it. Like this could be, you know, this is good, the wrapping, you know, but there are still need some fixes that you need to do, which we could fix in ZBrush, all right, which is this part here, and also the eyes. Now for the eye here, it's not properly aligning. Maybe we could try to fix that here in wrap. We could go to the select point, and maybe we could add, if it doesn't work, then no problem, we could always work on ZBrush and fix this. But we could, if we could add a few more points, maybe here, and okay, and here, and then here, and let's see. Okay, we could do another wrap. Okay, after adding those points, we go to wrap again, and we could do another computation. Compute. Okay, and let's check. Okay, that's better. It looks like it's definitely did its thing a lot better than before, and it's gonna be a lot easier for us to fix when we put in ZBrush. Okay, so what we could do is we could just go ahead and save this out. So how do we save out our base mesh here? Okay, so first I want to hide the base mesh and hire a sculpt. Okay, hiding everything. And then we could go, click on tab, geometry, click on save geometry. Okay, so we have the save geometry node, and then just go ahead and connect the wrapping onto the save geometry and go here. And we can click on the button here and we could save this out. And I'm just gonna call it Samuel_wrapped. And make sure that you click on compute current frame so it will actually save out that OBJ file. Click here and there you go. In the next video, we are going to modify a few things on the base mesh so it's as clean as possible. See you then.